Now you already know that a binomial expansion a plus x to the power of n is given by nc0 e to the power of n x to the power of 0 plus nc1 e to the power of n minus 1 x to the power of 1 plus nc2 e to the power of n minus 2 x square plus nc3 e to the power of n minus 3 x cube. And this continues till we get a term, any term, ncr e to the power of n minus r x to the power of r. And this again continues till the nth term, ncn e to the power of 0 x to the power of n. Okay. Now this term we call as the general term of a binomial. Now what you also must know is that in this expansion, I have already mentioned this, that in the expansion of a plus x to the power of n, we have n plus 1 terms, right? N plus 1 terms. Therefore, the rth term of a binomial is this term. The rth term of a binomial is this term. And because we have n plus 1 terms, this rth term is given by tr plus 1. Tr plus 1 is equal to ncr e to the power of n minus r x to the power of r. This is your rth term. So for example, if you want to find out the first term of the binomial, that is you want to find out this term, then we put r is equal to 0. So you have t0 plus 1 equal to t1 equal to, put r is equal to 0, nc0 e to the power of n minus 0 x to the power of 0. Okay, see, we are getting the first term, nc0 e to the power of n x to the power of 0. We are getting the first term. If you want to find out the second term, then we put r equal to 1. So you get t1 plus 1 equal to t2 equal to nc1 e to the power of n minus 1 x to the power of 1. See, we are getting the second term now. Similarly, if you want to find out the fourth term, then we put r equal to 3. So you get t3 plus 1 equal to t4 equal to nc3 e to the power of n minus 3 x cube. See, we are getting the fourth term here. The first term, second term, third term, we are getting the fourth term. So whatever term you want to find out, you just subtract it by 1, you get the value of r, and then you get that particular term. This is called the general term of a binomial. Any term of binomial is this. Tr plus 1 is equal to ncr e to the power of n minus r x to the power of r. Okay. So with this idea, let us try to solve question numbers. Let us try to solve question number 1, 2. Question number 1, part 2. Okay. Question number 1, part 2 states that find the sixth term. Find the sixth term of the binomial. So the given binomial is 2x minus 1 by x square to the power of 7. We want to find out the sixth term. Remember that TR plus 1, the rth term of a binomial, is NCR a to the power of n minus r x to the power of r. Right? This is the formula. So therefore, what should be the sixth term? We want to find out T6. T6 is the same as T5 plus 1. So what is the value of r here? Our r here is 5. And what is the value of n here? N here is 7. So this is 7C5. And what is a here? A here is 2x. 2x to the power of n minus r. 7 minus 5. And what is x here? X here is 1 by minus 1 by x square. So with the sign minus 1 by x square to the power of r. R here is 5. So this is your sixth term. So how to find out the sixth term now? 7C5 is the same as 7C2 because NCR is equal to NCn minus r. And this becomes 2x square. And see, this is minus which has been raised to an odd power. So this minus sign remains. Let us write it this way. Minus. And then you have 1 by x square to the power of 5. Right? So this now becomes the value of 7C2 is 7 into 6 by factorial 2. 2x whole square is 4x square. And 1 by x square to the power of 5 is minus 1 by x to the power of 10. So this becomes 7 into 6 by 2 into 4x square. A minus sign is there, so we take a minus sign here. So we get into 1 by x to the power of
The
10.
power of 7.
We
Or
cancel
10,
this.
sorry.
Okay, so this is 21 into 4. 21 into 4 is 84. So this becomes minus 84 x square by x to the power of 10. By the laws of indices, this becomes minus 84 x to the power of 2 minus 10. So this becomes minus 84 times x to the power of minus 8. Or you can write this as minus 84 by x to the power of 8. So this is your sixth term of the binomial. Okay, so without even expansion, we can find out any term we want with the help of this formula. You want to find out a seventh term, you can find out a seventh term. You can want to find out a 20th term, you can find out the 20th term, provided the power is more than 19. Okay, provided the power is 19 or more. So this is how we find out this. Next question is that of middle term. Suppose middle term of a binomial. This is again a formula. Middle term of a binomial. Now, what do you mean by the middle term of a binomial? Suppose I have an expansion of a plus x square. This all of you know is a square plus 2ax plus x square. You have three terms. The middle term is 2ax. What is the middle term here? This is the second term. Okay, so middle term here is second term. And how are we getting this second term? If I want to write this in terms of this, then the second term of this binomial is equal to 2 by 2 because the power here is 2. So 2 by 2 plus 1, which is equal to second term. Okay, so second term in case the even in case the power is even. So therefore, if you have any power here, therefore if you have for a plus x to the power of n, where n is even, middle term is equal to n by 2 plus 1, n by 2 plus 1th term n actually. Okay, so for example, again here, if I take an example here, and if I say find the middle term of 2x square plus 1 by x whole to the power of 26. Then how will you find out the middle term? Middle term is equal to, where the power is 26, so n by 2. So if you see according to this, you have to remember this. Okay, n by 2 plus 1, so 26 by 2 plus 1th term, which is 13 plus 1th term, which is 14th term, which is T14. Okay, this is how you find out the middle term of binomial for even power. Next, let us see what is odd power. Let us suppose cube a plus x whole cube. What is the expansion here? A cube plus thrice a square b plus thrice a b square plus b cube. This is your expansion, right? Binomial expansion of a plus b whole cube. Now see that the power here is odd. So how many middle terms are there? There is, if in case of an even power, the number of terms were odd. Like here, we had an even power. Okay, and so we had 3 terms, and so we had only one middle term. But in case of an odd power, we have 4 terms here. And what are the 2 middle terms? These are the 2 middle terms. So in case of an odd power, you will have 2 middle terms, not 1 middle term. And what are the middle terms here? In this case, the middle terms are the second term and the third term. That is T2 and T3. But how are we getting these T2 and T3? Middle term in this case for the power 3, middle terms in fact are 3 plus 1 by 2th term and 3 plus 1 by 2 plus 1th term. That is second term and third term. That is T2 and T3. For power 3, you have 2 middle terms, T2 and T3. And how are you finding out? N plus 1 by 2 and n plus 1 by 2 plus 1th term. So for any binomial expansion with an odd power, for a plus x to the power of n, where n is odd, what are the middle terms? Middle terms are n plus 1 by 2th term and n plus 1 by 2 plus 1th term. Right? These two are the middle terms in case of odd powers. Okay, so remember these two. This one, for odd powers, the middle term is n plus 1 by 2th term and n plus 1 by 2 plus 1th term. And for even powers, the middle term is n by 2 plus 1th term. So please remember these two formulas to find out the middle term. So with the help
Okay,
of
sir.
this, now we'll solve two problems of middle term. Okay, so let us see. Let us take an even power first. Let us see 1, 3. You need to find the middle term of 2x minus 1 by y to the power of 8. So the given binomial is 2x minus 1 by y to the power of 8. This is the binomial. We want to find out the middle term of this. Now see that the power is even. Here n equal to 8, even. Therefore, you have only how many middle terms? You have only one middle term in case of an even power. So therefore, middle term is equal to n by 2 plus 1th term, which is equal to 8 by 2 plus 1th term, which is equal to 5th term, which is equal to t5. So we know that the middle term is the 5th term. But what is that 5th term in case of this binomial? We are going to find out. We are going to find out with the help of the general term of a binomial, that formula. So therefore, what is t5? Middle term of the given binomial is equal to t5. And t5, we write this as t4 plus 1, because tr plus 1 is your general term. So the value of r here is 4. So that means n here is 8. And what is that middle term? If you remember the formula, t r plus 1 is equal to ncr a to the power of n minus r x to the power of r. This was the middle term formula. Let's put it here. R is 5, n is 8. So 8 c 4. A here is how much? A here is 2x. So 2x to the power of 8 minus 4. And x is here is minus 1 by y. This one is your x. So minus 1 by y to the power of r, which is 4. So this is your middle term. Now let us simplify this to actually find out what the middle term is. So this is 8c4 formed from the formula 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 divided by factorial 4 into 2x to the power of 4. And see, minus has been raised to an even power, so it becomes plus. So this is 1 by y to the power of 4. So this is 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 by 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. 2x to the power of 4 is 16x to the power of 4. And below you have y to the power of 4. So now things cancel. 4 1, 4 4, and 3 1, 3 2. This cancels here. Okay, so that you're only left with 8 into 7, 56. 56 into 5 into 56 into 20 is how much? 1120. So this is 1120 x to the power of 4 by y to the power of 4. This is your middle term. Any question, any doubts till this part?
No, sir.
Let us now take an odd power and see how to find out the middle term. Again, let's take a note of this, that the TR plus 1 is NCR a to the power of n minus r x to the power of r. Let's take note of this. And with this idea, let us now find out the middle term of 1, 4, this question. Okay, so the given binomial is x to the power of 4 minus 1 by x cubed to the power of 11. Now see, this is an odd power. So definitely there will be two middle terms in this case. Okay, so the middle terms here are what terms? 11 plus 1 by 2th term and 11 plus 1 by 2 plus 1th term. Right, these two are the middle terms. That is, this is your 6th term and 7th term. That is T6 and T7. Okay, so you have two middle terms, the 6th term and the 7th term. And how did I get this? Remember, what were the middle terms of the binomial for if n is odd? N plus 1 by 2th term and n plus 1 by 2 plus 1th term. If you remember, I just showed you, for odd powers, you get two middle terms, and these two middle terms are given by this formula. That is why I've got two middle terms from here, 11 plus 1 by 2th term and 11 plus 1 by 2 plus 1th term. You get T6 and T7. So let us proceed to find out what are the middle terms. So therefore, what is T6? T6. Again here, we use TR plus 1. T6 here is T5 plus 1. So the value of R here is 5. And what is the value of N here? N here is 11. So let's write here N equal to 11 odd. Okay, so N here is 11, R here is 5. So let's now put it in this TR plus 1 formula. 11 C 5. What is A here? A here is x to the power of 4. So x to the power of 4 to the power of n minus r, 11 minus 5. And you have minus 1 by x cube. So minus 1 by x cube to the power of r. R here is 5. So this is your T6. You want to simplify, 11 into 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 divided by factorial 5. Factorial 5 means 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. This, next you have x to the power of 4, which has been raised to the power of 11 minus 5, which is 6. And minus has been raised to an odd power, so I'll retain the minus sign and I will write minus of 1 by x cube to the power of 5. So this is, now if you calculate this, 5 1 5 2 1 2 2 1 2 4 3 1 3 3 and you have 2 1 2 2. Okay, so this you get 11 into 3 33, 33 into 21 693. You're getting 693, and x raised to the power of x to the power of 4 raised to the power of 6 is x to the power of 24 divided by, and there's a minus sign here, and in the denominator you have x cubed raised to the power of 5, so this becomes x to the power of 15. So this becomes minus 693 x to the power of 24 minus 15. So this is minus 693 x to the power of 9. That's it. This is your 6th term of the binomial, and we now proceed to find out the seventh term, T7. T7 is T6 plus 1, which is again according to the formula 11C. R here is 6. So 11C 6. A here is x to the power of 4 to the power of n minus r into x here is minus 1 by x cube raised to the power of r. That's it. Now this is 11. C6 is the same as 11C5. So let us write this as 11C5. It will be easier to calculate. The lower the value of r in NCR, it is the easier it is to calculate. So 11C6 is same as 11C 11 minus 6, which is 11C5. And this is x to the power of 4 to the power of 5 into, and again minus has been here raised to an even power, so it becomes plus. So this simply becomes 1 by x cube to the power of 6. Now you can calculate 11C5, 11 into 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 divided by 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Just like earlier, it will come to 693 only. Okay, so this is your thing, and this is x to the power of 20, and this is 1 by x to the power of 18. Okay, so this will become 693. If you, I have already calculated this to be 693. So this is 693 plus 693 this time, x to the power of 20 divided by x to the power of 18. So this is 693 x to the power of 20 minus 18, which is 693 x square. So that is your 7th term. So what are the two middle terms? This is one middle term, and this is the other middle term. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so this is one type of question that you will get. Find the middle term from this chapter. Another type of question that you get from this chapter is, say, find the term independent of a term. Let us take an example, and this one. Let us see 2, 2. 2, 2. Let me just erase this so that this is. The questions in binomial theorem are quite restricted, okay, especially in your general term. See this question 2, 2. Find the term independent of x in the expansion of this. What do you mean by independent of x? Independent of x means there's no x in it, only a number is there. Okay, the given binomial is square root x by 3 minus root 3 by 2x whole to the power of 12. You need to find the term that is independent of x in this. Okay, now what do you mean by term independent of x? As I told you, a term that does not contain x is called a term that is independent of x. And when can a term not contain x? Suppose this is the term. Let us say 720 x to the power of 0. Suppose this is a term. Suppose this is a term. Then is this term independent of x? Can you tell me if this term is independent of x? Is this term independent of x? Yes? It is independent of x because you have x to the power of 0. 720 x to the power of 0 is 1. So 720 into 1, which is 720 only. So therefore, this term is actually independent of x, which only simply means to say that whenever the power of x is 0 in a particular term, only then we can say that term is independent of x. So please take a note of this, that the power of x must be 0. The power of the variable must be 0 in that particular term for it to be independent of x. So in this
X.
expansion, let us say here what is n? N is 12. Okay, let us say let tr plus 1 term be independent of x. Let tr plus 1 be independent of x. That is, you can also write this as let the rth term be independent of x. Okay, let the rth term be independent of x, or let tr plus 1 be independent of x. So what is tr plus 1 in this case? Therefore, tr plus 1 here is ncr. Let's write the formula first. ncr e to the power of n minus r x to the power of r. Now we put the values. What is n here? N here is 12. R we need to find out. A here is root x by 3. So root x by 3 to the power of n minus r. N here is 12 minus r into x to the power of, what is x here? X here is this one, minus root 3 by 2x by 2x to the power of r, right? Now let us simplify this. 12cr root over of x by 3 can be written as x by 3 to the power of half, and this is raised to the power of 12 minus r. And here minus, you have a minus raised to the power of r. So what you can do here is you can take minus out. You can write this as minus 1 to the power of r, and you can write this as root 3 by 2x to the power of r. Any confusion with this step?
No,
So
sir.
12cr. Now this is x by 3 to the power of 12 minus r by 2. Okay, you multiply a to the power of m whole to the power of n is a to the power of m into n, and you write minus 1 to the power of r as it is. Okay, and root 3 by 2x, this means 3 to the power of half. Root 3 means 3 to the power of half, and this is 2x whole to the power of r. So this is 12cr x to the power of 12 minus r by 2 divided by 3 to the power of 12 minus r by 2, this into minus 1 to the power of r, and this is 3 to the power of r by 2 divided by 2 to the power of r x to the power of r. Now what you do here is, because we need the power of the variable to be 0, you take all the numbers together, that is the constants together, and take the variables together. So minus 1 to the power of r is a number or a constant. 12cr is also a constant. Okay, and see here 1 by 3 to the power of 12 minus r by 2 is also a constant. Okay, into 1 by 2 to the power of r is also a constant, into 3 to the power of r by 2 is also a constant. You take all this together and you take the powers of x together. X to the power of 12 minus r by 2 divided by x to the power of r. You have separated the constant from the variable. Now you can simplify the constant also a little. Minus 1 to the power of r, 12cr, and you can write this as 3 to the power of r by 2 minus 12 minus r by 2 divided by 2 to the power of r, because you have a this 3 to the power of something here and you have a 3 to the power of something here. So you can subtract the powers, and you get x to the power of 12 minus r by 2 minus r. This is the power of your variable. Now, if tr plus 1 is independent of x, what did I tell you? If tr plus 1 is independent of x, then what should be the power of the variable?
0.
0. So therefore, x to the power of 12 minus r by 2 minus r must be equal to x to the power of 0, right? That means 12 minus r by 2 minus r must be equal to 0. Now you simply solve this equation. That means you get 12 minus r minus 2r by 2 is equal to 0. That means 12 minus 3r must be equal to 0. That means 3r is equal to 12. That means r is equal to 12 by 3. That means 4. So the value of r is 4. So which term is independent of x? Therefore, tr plus 1 is equal to t4 plus 1 is equal to t5 is equal to fifth term is independent of x. And what is that fifth term? That fifth term is this. So put it here. So therefore, what is t5? Put the value of r here. Put the value of r in this. So you get t5 is minus 1 to the power of r. So minus 1 to the power of 4 into 12c4 into 3 to the power of 4 by 2 minus 12 minus 4 by 2 divided by 2 to the power of r, 2 to the power of 4. And you have x to the power of 0 here. You don't need to write because you have already put x to the power of 0. So this term is independent of x. So this is the entire term. It does not contain x. Minus 1 to the power of 4 is positive. Now you simply need to calculate 12c4 okay, this into 3 to the power of 2 minus 12 minus 4 by 2, 8 by 2, which is 4, divided by 2 to the power of 4. Let us calculate this. 4 1 4 3 3 3 2 1 2 5. So this is 55 into 9. And how much is 55 into 9? 495. So this is 495 into 3 to the power of minus 2 by 2 to the power of 4, which can also be written as 495 divided by 2 to the power of 4 into 3 square, which is 495 divided by 2 to the power of 4 is 16. 16 into 9 is 144. This is the term that is independent of x. Okay.